Ready to go? Good evening, it's Peter Sidwell here, Masterclass Juniors. It's Friday. Kids go back on Monday. Woohoo! What a day! It's the boys' turn in the kitchen today, so anything could happen with just the boys. We've left the girls next door. Emily is dealing with all the technology side of things, and she's taken the feedback on and she's going to shout louder so that everyone can hear her beautiful tones. We've been playing around with microphones and things like that, trying to get it working, but we're not quite there yet. But she's going to be a bit noisier today. So, right, what we're making today, pal?
Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese, big family favourite. Done well is amazing. Done badly, not good at all. Not good. So, first of all, Thomas, what we need to do is we need to get our pasta in. So, pan of water there, we need some salt into there. So I'm just going to grab some salt. So with pasta, always cook in salted boiling water. It wants to be as salty as the sea. Yeah? Now we've got macaroni. Don't let yourselves not make this if you haven't got macaroni. Alright? It doesn't matter. Use the pasta you've got. Spirals, bows, shells, doesn't matter. Spaghetti doesn't really work. Okay? But 9 minutes to boil. What I would always say is don't overcook it because it's going in the oven and it's even more important to not overcook it. So we're going to set a timer for 9 minutes. Are you going to put that cheese in? Are you going to put the pasta in? Okay, so you've got to be really, really careful. There is 500 grams in there, which I weighed out earlier and ready. So what you need to do is hold it like that, and then we're going to pour it in away from you.
Yeah.
Alright, so it doesn't splash any boiling water at you. You ready? Okay. So let's take it nice and carefully. Ready?
Yeah.
Right, in we go. Emily, may we have 9 minutes on the clock, please?
You got it.
Sound like a game show host. Right, so while the pasta's cooking, spoon with holes, young man. While we're cooking, give that a little stir just to make sure all the water breaks through and the pasta doesn't clump together, yeah? Got it? Good lad. Right. Alright, that'll do. So lift that out, let's pop a lid on there, just off centre. And the reason why I've done that is it won't boil over, it keeps the heat in, it means it'll cook. And it won't boil over, which is really, really important, and I can just sort of see what's going on. Now, let's make our cheese sauce. Now, I think mac and cheese is really, really good for using up all leftover bits of cheese. Now, I don't know about you, but at the weekends, we kind of have like nice cheeses and biscuits and breads and bits and bobs, and we always end up with about 5 different cheeses and a little bit of each. This recipe is made for using up those leftovers. So, Tommy boy, we're going to make a white sauce. So this is a bechamel, okay? Pop that in, and then I will get you a spoon for the pan, okay? So I only put it on that spoon there. Is it a bit stuck, son? Now, do you know what? When I went to catering college to learn how to be a chef, this is the first recipe I made. Turn that off with lemon. Oops. That's not good, is it? Okay, right. So, this is the first recipe I made, and a bechamel sauce. It's really important that you start with equal amounts of flour and butter. So first of all, we melt the butter, and then we add the flour. And then what's really important is you cook it out. Now, because we're cooking with you, young man, I've got these. Yeah?
Yeah.
So these go over our pan handles to stop us getting burnt. Yeah? So you can hold it now, which is really good, isn't it? Yeah? Right, can you see that pasta's cooking away? Emily, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. So we're up to the boil. We're on the go. I'm going to check. Any questions today, Emily Gray?
For me or for my audience?
Oh, either. I'm good for either.
Do you know what to see?
Yeah?
Everybody can see this one?
Yeah.
I quite like having this colour of a louder voice. It's great.
We've empowered her, haven't we?
Yeah. What's your favourite cheese?
For me, I am a cheddar, like 80-90% of the UK eats cheddar. It's weird. Like in the UK, we have more cheeses than in France, which blows my mind because you kind of think of France of having this endless list of cheeses. We actually have more cheeses here in the UK, but we generally just eat cheddar. And I love a brilliant cheddar. Let me carry on. Do you see how it's coming to foam now? It's just starting to foam. So let's add the flour.
Are we sure this is kind of fruity?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're just going to start to mix the flour in. So you start stirring, Thomas, and I'll add this. So it's equal amounts of butter and flour. Stir that together, and it's really important that you cook this out. So we've got. Can I just get these little lumps, and then you're on stirring duty? All right.
It always smells like macaroni.
It does. Well, this is the base of your sauce for mac and cheese. This is called a bechamel. So when you have lasagna, you pour that white sauce on the top. That's this. Yeah? So this is what Daddy first learned when he went to catering college to learn to be a chef. The very first lesson. Okay? So, a little bit of flour. There we go. Yeah, so we make more cheeses in this country than France. But most of us eat cheddar. And honestly, I would urge you to get out there when you can, soon hopefully, or have a look online. There's some amazing delis and farm shops, and you can find some amazing cheeses. Enjoy the cheese, and if you have any leftovers, make this. But don't buy an amazing cheese to make this, all right? Buy it just a decent mature cheddar. Or Lancashire, or Red Leicester, whatever you like. Okay, you could do a blue cheese version of this as well if you wanted to. I'm not a blue cheese fan, but you know. Right, okay, so that needs to cook out for 1 minute. Keep stirring, sunshine. So, let me talk about the ingredients. Now, we've got some bay leaves. Now, this is where we give depth of flavour to our mac and cheese. So it goes beyond just cheese sauce and pasta. We're trying to make next level. We're trying to do a masterclass in mac and cheese, all right? So we've got these beautiful bay leaves. They're still growing in the garden. Have a smell of these, Thomas. If I tear that, have a smell. Do you recognise that smell when you're running through the garden with your Nerf guns and your this, that and your ropes and your this, that and the other? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bay and kind of scrunch it up like that, okay? And I'm going to pop it in. Because now, can you smell the flavour? We've released the flavour by doing that, okay? And then I'm just going to add a little bit of thyme to it. We're going to add some more later to the actual topping, but I want to just get some flavour in there. And then, do you know what this is, Thomas?
No.
What does it look like?
An olive?
No, well, yeah, it's a bit dry for an olive.
Yeah.
This is called a nutmeg. Have you heard of that before?
No, we sure this thing come around.
Yeah, so that nutmeg, that's a whole nutmeg. Now you can buy it ground if you like, but honestly, buy them whole and use the side of a box grater. Use that fine parmesan one or from a plane and just, right, if you smell it now, what does it smell of? Nothing?
No.
Right, wait till I've done this.
Wow.
So if you see that, yeah, now have a smell of it. You smell the flavour, it's quite strong, isn't it? That's why we only use a little bit. So stir that nutmeg into there for me, please. And then I've got a fresh block of parmesan which we're using for the top, we're not using it at the bottom. So what I'm going to do, like I showed you last week, what did we make last week with this in, Emily? Can you remember? I remember doing this last week.
The pie.
Was it? Oh, it was the Italian pie. Well done, sunshine. That was this week, wasn't it? That was Monday. These weeks are going so fast. So cut the rind off the parmesan, add that in. And now we're going to add the milk a little at a time while Thomas stirs it in for me. Alright, so you stir that sauce in. Alright, nice and carefully. If it's slopping around, turn it so you use the end of the spoon and then like that, yeah? Alright? I'm going to give you a whisk in a minute, but you're not allowed it yet. You've got to keep working. So add a little at a time, stir it, and it'll absorb. And keep doing that until you've used up all the milk in the recipe. If you have any questions, Emily, fire them my way. Don't wait. Alright?
Yeah, I've got a question actually.
Yeah.
Milk milk and you use semi-skim?
We're using skim milk because we have skim milk in our house. But if you use full fat milk, you'll get a creamier texture. We're actually going to add a little bit of cream to finish it with because it's Friday and it's treat night and it's delicious. But you don't have to. You could use a plant-based milk as well if you wanted to. You know, if you want to do more plant-based eating and cooking, you could use plant-based margarine or butter in this. You could use plant-based milk. You could use pasta that doesn't have egg in it. And there's loads of cool cheeses out there that are vegan as well. Right, can I just have a quick look? Right, what I'm going to do is we're about halfway with our milk now. And I always think once we're halfway, we transfer to a whisk. Makes it a little bit easier and it allows you to get the sauce nice and lump-free. Alright?
Is this something you can make in advance?
Yes, but if you're making this in advance and putting it in the fridge overnight or in a few hours, make your sauce wetter. Put more liquid in because the pasta will absorb it. And if you don't, it'll be rock solid and you want that nice, liquidy, lovely cheese sauce. So add like a quarter of a pint more liquid. It can be just water if you want it to. And that will make sure that it allows for the absorption.
That's just pasta that quick.
Okay.
9-minute timer.
Right, okay, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this. No. We like the crispy bits. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got a jug and a sieve built into this. It's brilliant. It sits inside, stores inside itself. So, Tommy boy, 9 minutes. Let's grab this pasta. You like a bit of pasta, don't you? Can you see this all right, Emily, on here? Yeah. So we're just going to pour it through. Just give it a little encouragement. You are all right, don't worry. No panic, little man. Okay, got a couple of rogue pieces there. Right, and then the good thing is I can just drain it out like so. So you don't have to leave and go off to the sink if you don't want to, which is quite useful. Now a little tip for you. I'm just going to grab my olive oil. Now we've got 5 minutes before we do this. So add a drizzle of oil to your pasta and it won't stick together like a great big lump, okay? Give it a little shake and the pasta will just be nice and loose. Somebody wants to taste one, don't they? I can feel his eyes looking at me. Come on, it's hot, but be careful.
Can you use if you've got too much pasta the night before?
Yes.
Can you use leftover pasta?
Yeah, of course you can, yeah. But what you need to do is probably make sure your sauce is nice and hot. I'm just going to add the remaining milk. Okay, how is it, Tom?
Brilliant.
We're going to add the cream. Okay, just to make it a little richer. If you are making this as a sort of a more healthy option, pull the cream out, just replace it with milk. And then we're just going to bring this sauce up to the boil and keep it moving. It's really important that you have it on kind of medium heat and keep it moving because you don't want it to scorch and you don't want it to burn.
We've had a question, Pete.
Sure.
From Giselle.
Yeah.
Do you ever put oil in the water when cooking?
No, absolutely not. You don't need to. You need a big pan. If you find that when your pasta's cooking, it's sticking together, it's because the pan isn't big enough and there isn't enough water in it. Bigger pans, lots of water, not as much pasta, okay? We always seem to try and get everything in. Right, Tom? You're going to grate me some cheese, young man? We've got 2 cheeses here. We're just going to use up this cheese here. And we've got some mature cheddar as well. So grate that up, yeah? And that'll go in the sauce. Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Just watch your fingers, because that cuts cheese, yeah? So do it like this. And if it gets too small and you get like, oh, I don't like that, just leave it to one side. Dad will deal with it. Yeah? Like that. Okay? Go for it. I'll keep an eye on your sauce, because you forgot about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to add a little bit more water to my sauce, because I think it'll take it. There we go. Okay.
Maybe I've got a lot of cheese.
Yeah. You need a decent amount of cheese because you want the flavour to come through.
What about salt in your water for your pasta bake?
Always salty as seawater, I was taught. But everybody's sort of sensitivity to salts is different.
Change the amount of salt you put in.
Totally, because if we taste this sauce, and if it needed salt, we would add it, but it's unlikely it will because I know my pasta has a slight savouriness to it. It's not salty. You know, when you taste pasta like that, it just doesn't taste of anything. Whereas if you cooked it in salt water, it has some flavour.
Is that enough cheese?
Yeah, perfect, buddy. Put that cheese over there.
Okay.
And then lift your cheese up and then scoop it into my sauce, please. Okay. Do it in a few handfuls if you need to. Pop it in. That's it, and that'll just melt really quick. If you want really stringy, cheesy mac and cheese, add some grated mozzarella. Doesn't have much flavour, but it has that real sort of stringy texture. Right, all that cheese, all those bits in, please.
Somebody's asking about the masterclass drinks.
Yes.
And do they all fit inside each other?
Yeah, they do. I can show you actually if you want to. So look, if you go to there,
Yeah.
you see that?
I can.
So they all fit inside each other. So you have a little jug like that, a jug slightly bigger, then you have a colander, and then you have a really big mixing jug. They all fit inside each other. Use them all the time. Got a drawer full of them. They're brilliant.
From Masterclass, yeah?
Masterclass Smart Space is the range. So there's within the range there's like a smart space section. Lots of different space-saving ideas. Really good. Right, son. I think that cheese is about there. You are? You just going to stand near the pasta, are you? I thought you might. Right. What you need to do is get a couple of teaspoons, because we need to taste this sauce and see if it's seasoned correctly.
Okay.
Right, they're just in there. So that's whisked together. I've got a nice smooth sauce. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of mustard, very little, because I'm not trying to make a mustard sauce. I'm just trying to improve the depth of flavour. Okay?
Does it matter what type of mustard you use?
Well, I like Dijon because it's like not too. English mustard's like rocket fuel, and I always think it doesn't matter how much you use, it still burns, and it overpowers, in my opinion, and particularly with cooking. So Dijon's a really good one. If you use whole grain mustard, it'll show you'll have little whole mustard seeds in there. Whereas with this, you just get a nice sort of rounded flavour. I like Dijon, it's a good cheese. Right, Tom, let's have a taste.
Okay. Good.
You try it. Try it, dip a bit of pasta in there. Oh yeah,
Save some for the mac and cheese, please.
that's good. Something good about a really good cheese sauce. And now, what do you reckon? Is it good? Yeah? You like that, don't you? Right. So are you going to pour the pasta onto the sauce? So, take a ladle of sauce, or you can throw all your pasta in there if you want. But I'm going to take 2 ladles of sauce, put that at the bottom. Tom, pour your pasta in there.
Bye-bye.
You'll see it soon. Okay?
It's like laying it like a lasagna.
Well, yeah, if you just pour the sauce on top of the pasta, you're kind of waiting for it all to get to the bottom. Okay, so just move my hands around a little bit. I don't burn that easily, so I can do that. So let an adult do that. And then can you do a ladle of sauce on there for me? Can you do that bit? I reckon you can, can't you? Yeah? And I think that's going to need 3 ladles of sauce. That's it. Good. So let's just move it about a little bit. I'm going to fish out the bay leaf because I know the kids won't like that because it's green and suspicious.
They don't get a prize.
Yeah. I'm just fishing them out as I go.
Probably got a prize after this.
You have, haven't you? Right. Okay. We can do a couple more, I think. Because it will absorb some of the sauce at the same time. Okay, good. Right, let me fish those out.
I'm watching you.
I know. Right.
Can you add the sauce like as much or as little as you want?
Yeah, some people like it like really saucy and lots of it. Some people like it slightly drier. Can I just grab that last bit for you, son? It's going to be cherry tomato cutting time soon. I know you're very good at that, son, aren't you? Right, there we go. We'll pick those pieces out later. Make sure we've got the bay leaves. See, if you leave them whole rather than chop them up, not only do they sort of give that subtle flavour, but you can fish them out afterwards.
I think I found a bay leaf.
Because they are quite medicinal. Oh, that's good. I'm looking forward to this one, son. What's really nice as well is, it's a bit naughty, but if you get some nuggets of cheese, like a cube of cheese, so if you get like a piece like that, and stick them in, like, and then you end up with like big gooey bits, as well as sort of saucy bits. Don't tell your sister. Alright, there we go. Right, now, what we're going to do is we've got some breadcrumbs, okay? This is going to give us extra crispiness on the top. You going to do that? Okay, and then we're going to grate some parmesan. Tom, you can do that, can't you? Hold that end and do that. And that'll give us a nice sort of crispy taste. Texture to the top.
Right.
And then we've got a few cherry tomatoes, I think. Hold it up like that.
It's hard to hold it.
Okay, we'll do it like that. Oh. Go on, you wimp.
I'm not a wimp. You're the wimp around here.
Right, do you want to get yourself a knife from the knife block behind me?
It's in this one.
Yeah, but just one of those little ones, you know, the ones that you and Papa use. Yeah? Okay. Right, tomatoes. Cut them in half for me, please. I've got some fresh thyme from the garden. It's kind of one of the last few herbs that really do survive the winter. And they just give a really nice sort of savouriness to
Do
it.
it that way.
Do you remember how we said you do it? So, what you do is you take it, you put finger and thumb, and you push your knife through and keep your fingers away. That's it. Oh, no, you're squashing it, you're not cutting it, mate. Alright, so, watch. Push, pull. Like that, yeah? See if you can do that again for me. Now, I like to add a few little cherry tomatoes to this. If your kids don't like cherry tomatoes, they can fish around them, it's not a big deal. But what they add is a little burst of acidity, and they kind of cut through. So don't press too hard, use the sharpness of the knife rather than the weight of it, yeah? So watch.
Yeah.
Push, 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 pull. Yeah? So hold the tomato like that.
Yeah.
Push, 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 till you feel it go, and then pull. Yeah, good lad. And then pop them on here. That's it. You can put them whole if you like, and they would kind of burst and explode, and the sauce. But my kids are not big fans of whole tomatoes, so we just cut them up. We put them on top, and they roast and they go delicious. And you can kind of fish around them if you don't like them, but.
Are we having the other one that you made in?
Right, let's get this cleaned, the edges, and then this can go in the oven. And the good news is we have one. If you lift that out and take that away. I'll take those. Just pop it over there.
Where?
Yeah, and come straight back. Okay. So, we've got our mac and cheese. All it needs to do is go straight in a nice hot oven. Everything is hot and cooked because we cooked it all at the same time. So actually you really only need to brown the top off here. If you're making it to then cool and bake in the oven later, remember, make the sauce a lot looser, a lot more hydrated. Add maybe another 1/4 of a pint of milk or water. And if you're going to bake it from cold, make sure you put it in a slightly lower temperature, give it a chance to warm up before you then brown it off. And the good news, Tommy, is, are you ready? You've got a fork. Get a fork. You're going to want one.
I'm gonna get two.
You're going to get two, are you? Look at that. Emily, you're going to want to cut into that one. Look, it's even bubbling.
Yeah, that might be.
What do you think? Does it look good?
Well, somebody's asked, can you freeze it?
Yeah, you can, but just do the whole extra hydration, make it cooler, make sure that there's extra water in there so that it can hydrate and it doesn't dry out and sort of cook in a solid mass. You want it sort of quite loose, or I like mine to be quite loose.
Put it back a little bit so we can see it.
Where do you want it?
Put it up toward there, perfect.
There we go, right, son. Where are you going? Choose your angle.
It looks too hot.
Where are you starting?
I'm not gonna start.
I am totally going to try this. I don't normally try this on camera, but I can't wait. Ooh, look at that. Do you want a piece there? Look, there you go. It's just plain. Delicious. Okay, so if you want the recipe for this, go to masterclass.co website. You will find the recipe there along with all the other recipes that we've done during our Masterclass Juniors while lockdown and the kids haven't been at school. Next week, we're going to start like a new 6-week schedule of recipes. We're going to be live at 6, so it's supper at 6 on Wednesday. Giving them all a chance to get back to school. We're going to cook dinner at 6 o'clock, aren't we, on Wednesday? And then we're going to make a programme for a Saturday morning for you. This coming Saturday morning, next Saturday morning, we're going to be making Mother's Day breakfast. So we're going to make breakfast muffins, and then we're going to show you how to make a beautiful smoked salmon scrambled egg breakfast for your special mum who deserves breakfast in bed for Sunday. So tune in on Saturday morning, see how we do it, get into the shops, get your food ordered so that you can make your mum a lovely breakfast in bed on Sunday. And then after that, we will be every Wednesday and Saturday morning cooking up in our kitchen, creating some amazing dishes. Next week, we're doing toad in the hole on Wednesday. It's going to be really, yeah, toad in the hole. I'm going to show you how to make the perfect toad in the hole, a really, really good one. The Yorkshire pudding recipe will stand you in good stead for any time. But thank you very much for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you on Wednesday next week.